In that last example, I kind of snuck something in on you, which was this L for length, the length of arc AB. And we have not used that before. That actually gets introduced here. The length of an arc. Informally, the length of an arc is the distance between the endpoints. But you can't really have a ruler measure that. You could take a string and put it along the circle and then hold the string up to a ruler. But a better way is to use this proportion. Remember, proportion have two equal ratios. The central angle over 360, that's the angle of the part over the angle of a whole system, will equal the arc length. That's what L stands for, the length of the arc over the entire circumference. So this is, in our numerator, is the arc that I'm looking for, and in the denominator is for an entire circle. So just like measure of arc AB means degrees, and I incorrectly put an M in front of that previous example. I did not want the degree measure of the arc. I wanted the length of the arc, that scripted L. That means the length of arc CD. So the M in front would be measured in degrees. The L in front is measured in linear units like feet or inches, centimeters, yards. And if we know that central angle to 360 is going to equal arc length to the entire circumference, that proportion is true. If I wanted an equation to solve for L, let's multiply both sides by circumference. And you will get this equation. The arc length of an intercepted arc is going to be the central angle divided by 360 multiplied by the circumference of the circle. All right, so let's practice this. Here I'm told they want us to find the approximate length of the, we want the major arc ABC. So be careful. They want the length of this arc, the arc length of this major arc. So this is going to have a few steps in it. This has a radius of 7. We have that there. And we have the central angle is 45 degrees. And they tell us to use 22 over 7 as the approximation for pi. Okay, so the first thing I need to do, this is my exact same circle, a circle with a radius of 7. We know their circumference is 44 centimeters. We did that a few pages ago. If you don't remember how to do that, the circumference is 2 pi times r. So we know the circumference of this circle is 44. So what I'm going to do is let's find the length of the minor arc AC. The length of the minor arc AC is going to equal the central angle, which is 45, divided by 360 times the circumference. I have used the equation. The length of the arc is central angle over 360 times circumference. So the length of this arc, AC, is going to be 45 times 44 divided by 360. That would wind up being 5.5. And our units are inches. So this arc length is 5.5 inches. So if my whole circle is 44 inches, if my whole circle is 44 inches, and I'm taking out the 5.5 inches, that will leave the length of the major arc that I'm looking for. So the length of the major arc ABC is going to equal the entire circumference minus the length of arc AC. The length of arc ABC is going to equal 44 minus 5.5. So the length of arc ABC, put my arc up there, is going to equal 38.5, and my units are inches. So the whole circle around is 44 inches, and this arc is 38.5 inches. Now I could have done that a different way. I could have just used my equation and done 360 minus 45 and used that as my central angle. So 6 of one, half dozen of another. So that's finding circumference for the whole circle. That's finding arc length for a piece of the circle. Now, how about the equation for the area of a circle? It also involves the constant pi. The area of a circle is pi times whatever the radius is squared. Pi times the radius squared. So here they're just repeating the formula. The area of a circle is pi times the radius squared. And so here we're told, find the approximate area of a circle that has a radius of 10 inches. And they tell us to use 3.14 as our estimate. So area is pi times the radius squared. Instead of pi, we're going to use 3.14. And if my radius is 10, that's what I'm going to square. 3.14 times 100. So my area is going to be 314 square inches. Area is always a square unit. Now be careful. Let me just give you a warning on some of these problems. A very common trick, they'll try to trick you, and in the problem they'll tell you the diameter. You have to know that the first thing you'll have to do is divide that by 2 to get radius. This formula is looking for the radius. So if in the problem they give you diameter, remember to multiply by half or divide by 2.